Hey guys, Jonathan was out here for JM Sports 100 and the JM Sports Show. How is it going? The NASCAR Nationwide Series race, the Hisense 250 from Atlanta Motor Speedway, has concluded, so we are about to do the recap of that. I did not do a lot of tweeting during the race. There wasn't really a ton to say, to be honest. It was a fairly calm race. We had a few interesting points, which we will talk about, and let's get to that right now. Um, the action looked like it was going to be pretty hot and pretty often, as it only took us about 5 laps to really get our first story to watch, and that was that out front, Joey Logano was running hot. And I had tweeted and that it was going to be the Logano show. Logano was really, really fast off the truck all weekend. He was the winner, if you will, of both Nationwide Series, or Xfinity Series practices. Um, and so I figured he would have the car to beat, and for a while he did. But so he thought he was running hot already, so could it have been a problem? He thought maybe there was some trash on the grill. There was no trash on the grill. It did turn out to just be a gauge issue for him, so no actual overheating for Joey Logano. Lap 8, Jeffrey Earnhardt took a spin, had no damage, and then we went back to green at lap 12, and then for the most part, it was a pretty calm day. We had green flag pit stops at lap 46. Nothing too terribly interesting happened, other than Joey Logano had a tough. Joey Logano lost the lead, obviously, when he came into pit for the first time. He had led the first 50 laps of the event. Logano struggled a little bit on that pit stop, slid into his pit box a little long, didn't affect him too terribly bad. Kevin Harvick would come around to lead after the cycle of pit stops. Lap 86, when we saw our next caution, which was for debris, Harvick would win the race off pit road with a 12-second stop. Now, Kevin Harvick was driving for JR Motorsports this weekend, and JR Motorsports pit crew, the 88 pit crew, is actually the Cup pit crew, the 24 crew of Jeff Gordon, and they hope to have it that way all season. So it showed because that crew was really, really good on pit stops today. Now here's where it gets a little bit interesting. Brian Scott was penalized for too many men over the wall. Now, as you guys know, or maybe you don't know, but if some do, some don't, NASCAR's got the new pit road system. It's all automated, if you will. And basically, what had happened was Brian Scott had a tire get away, and it kind of slid over into the pit box next to him. And one of the crew guys from that stepped over the line to retrieve the tire. One of the crew guys in the next pit box stepped over the line and kind of grabbed the tire. Well, the computer sees that as too many men over the wall because they see that as a member of Brian Scott's crew at that point. So Brian Scott had gotten penalized for that. So that's just kind of how the new system works. I kind of like the new system. I'm sure that there's a lot of people that don't. I do. It seems to it's going to catch a lot of people off guard, and it kind of they said it on the Fox Sports One broadcast. It kind of helps us learn as fans, kind of, because it allows for a better replay, a better explanation of what happened. Like that was a rule that didn't even know existed, to be honest, until it was talked about um, when Scott got penalized for it. We would go back green at lap 91, and like I said, it would just continue to be pretty calm. Joey Logano would take the lead back finally from Kevin Harvick with about 37 laps to go. With 38 laps to go, he really started to make the charge. He powered past Harvick with 37 laps to go, pretty close to what would become green flag pit stops, or so we thought. With 31 laps to go, a couple of cars peeled down pit road. People like Matt Kenseth. So the caution would then come out with 30 laps to go. People like Matt Kenseth would be caught on pit road. He was on pit road at the time the caution fell in the process of completing a stop. Somebody like Paul Menard, who was just on his way down pit road, just went past his pit box, and was able to stand the lead lap because he did not stop. Matt Kenseth would take the wave around. People like Matt Kenseth would take the wave around, which would keep them on the lead lap, but it would put them in the back. And it showed. By the way, can I just go back to lap 86 just for 1 second? That caution there, there was something I forgot to bring up. Matt Kenseth allowed Joey Logano to, like I said, Harvick could have won that race off pit road. Matt Kenseth allowed Joey Logano to beat him off pit road because Kenseth wanted to start on the low side and not the high side when he went back to green. It would actually end up costing him. He'd fall back to about fifth, and he would never really bounce back from that. And then, of course, the trouble on pit road would or the being trapped on pit road would basically be the end of Kenseth's run. So we go back green with 24 to go. Chase Elliott tried to make it 3 wide in turn 2, and he slipped, and he fell all the way to 8th. So trouble there, which you would think would kind of take him out of the equation, but he did have a nice bounce back. We'll talk about that. With about 6 laps to go, Joey Logano had been making a bit of a run at Harvick. Harvick got clear of Logano, pulled away a little bit. Logano started to fight it back, and then with about 6 laps to go, Logano said, I feel like I have a loose wheel, and would kind of fade back a little bit, which would allow Harvick to pull away. Harvick would get the win. He'd get his third NASCAR XFINITY Series win at Atlanta in a row, and his 45th career win overall. So Harvick with another dominating performance, 101 laps led for Kevin Harvick in the race. Only 3 leaders, 4 lead changes in the race. 35 cars were running. Of the 40 cars that started, only an hour and 43-minute race. 3 cautions for 12 laps. So, like I said, not really a ton to talk about here. We will talk, however, about we will go over the lineups and how things finished up, and then we'll talk a little more about Joey Logano's dominant day that he had, at least in the beginning. And then we'll do point standings, and that'll be about it. And then I got to get ready to go to the truck race. I'm not 100% sure that I'm going to do the truck race. I don't know. We'll see. Truck race doesn't really garner a lot of interest, so like I said, we will see. All right, so 40th, Morgan Shepherd. 39th, Carl Long. Josh Vroom, 38th. 37th, Mike Harmon. Derek Cope, 36th. Cale Connolly, 35th. Harrison Rhodes, 34th. 33rd, Jimmy Weller. Jeffrey Earnhardt, 32nd. Cody Ware, 31st, Joey Gaze, 30th, 29th, Chris Cockrum, 28th, Eric McClure, 27th, John West Townley, 26th, David Starr, 25th, Mike Bliss, 24th, Ross Chastain, 23rd, Ryan Sieg, 22nd, Blake Cook, 21st, Jeremy Clements, 20th, Dakota Armstrong, 19th, JJ Yaley, 18th was Elliott Sadler. Sadler had a bit of a rough day. He also got penalized on pit road for having guys over the wall too soon, and then made some contact on pit road with the car in front of him. Didn't really complain. He didn't really complain that the damage had affected his car, but not a great day overall for Elliott Sadler. Landon Castle 17th, last week's Daytona winner. Ryan Reed finishes 16th. Sam Hornish Jr. finishes 15th. Daniel Suarez finishes 14th. He's going to run the truck race a little bit later on, along with a couple other drivers. Eric Jones finishes in the 13th spot in his first race, subbing for the injured Kyle Busch. 12th, Brendan Gaughan. And 11th, Darrell Wallace Jr. Darrell Wallace Jr., the last car, or the first car, one lap down. It's only 10 cars on the lead lap at the end of this thing. Shows you how dominant everybody was today, or at least Harvick and Logano were today. Kyle Larson 10th, Regan Smith 9th, Matt Kenseth would finish 8th, Brian Scott 7th, Paul Menard 6th. Good run for him. Chase Elliott, nice bounce back after getting loose early in the run. Finishes 5th. Chris Buescher finishes 4th. He is one of my favorites to win the championship this year. Really talented driver there. Ty Dillon 3rd. Joey Logano 2nd. And Kevin Harvick 1st. 101 laps led for Kevin Harvick. Joey Logano led 59 laps. And Matt Kenseth led 3. So there you go. Those were your leaders for today. So not a lot of excitement to talk about. Let's take a look at the point standings after 2 races. Ty Dillon is tied right now with Chris Buescher for the lead with 83 points. Ryan Reed is third, 8 points back. Darrell Wallace Jr., 17 points back in fourth. Dakota Armstrong is fifth, 26 back. Brian Scott is sixth, 27 back, tied with David Starr, who is also obviously 27 back. Defending champion Chase Elliott is 8th, 28 back. Ninth is Ross Chastain. He is also 28 back, and 30 points back in 10th is Jeremy Clements. So Elliott Sadler, by the way, just a side note, Elliott Sadler is 11th, 32 points back also. Another favorite to win the championship. All right, the NASCAR Nationwide Series is back at it next weekend at Atlanta, which is Saturday, March 7th, 4 o'clock Eastern Time at Fox Sports 1 again, the Boyd Gaming 300. So, there you go. I think we've covered all that we need to cover for this race. And truck race, like I said, I haven't figured out whether or not I'm going to do a recap yet or not. I'll probably watch it. Whether or not I'll do a recap, I don't know. So, if I don't, I will see you guys tomorrow for the Cup race. If I do, then I'll see you for the truck race. Congratulations to Kevin Harvick winning again in the NASCAR XFINITY Series as the Cup Series drivers continue to dominate the series as they really have for quite a while. Maybe I'll make a video about that eventually. Don't forget to like the Jam Sports Show page on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. As always, links will be in the description. And that is going to do it for me. I am Jonathan Mosep for Jam Sports 100 and the Jam Sports Show. And I will see you guys later.